People love to give advice they never followed themselves, and some of the worst advice I hear, often repeated by older people to comfort themselves, sounds like this. Keep saving after 65. It's the responsible thing to do. Responsible? No. In many cases, it's self-deception. If you're over 65 and still obsessed with saving more money, chances are you don't need more savings. You need a different mindset. After 65, the rules of the game change. Most people are too afraid or too stubborn to admit it. They cling to old habits the same way they cling to old furniture. Uncomfortable, outdated, but familiar. So they keep saving as if they still have 40 years ahead of them. They don't. Pretending otherwise is one of the most destructive forms of self-deception I've ever seen. I've watched people ruin perfectly good retirements because they never learned when to stop playing defense. Saving is a powerful habit until it becomes a cage you built for yourself. Most people confuse two very different things: saving for security and saving out of fear. By 65, saving for security should already be done. Saving out of fear is something else entirely. I've seen people who worked their entire lives, retired with more than enough, and then lived as if one small expense would destroy them. They ate the cheapest food, denied themselves comfort, avoided joy, and treated every dollar like a threat. They became accountants of their own misery. Many of them died with money they never used. The money didn't make them safer, it just outlived them. The goal of saving is not to save forever. The goal of saving is to eventually stop saving and start living. Money is supposed to buy freedom, not turn you into a frightened bookkeeper counting pennies until the end. Of course, the objections come immediately. What if I live to 100? What if something goes wrong? What if the market crashes? What if medical costs explode? Here's the question people avoid asking. What if you spend the healthiest years you have left worrying about problems that never happen? Fear is one of the most expensive luxuries in the world. It costs you time, joy, and peace, and gives you nothing in return. At 65, you're no longer trying to build an empire. You're trying not to turn the rest of your life into a spreadsheet. Saving aggressively in your 20s is smart. In your 30s, it's sensible. In your 40s, it's strategic. In your 50s, it's necessary. After 65, you should be harvesting, not planting. No one plants seeds in late autumn unless they've forgotten how seasons work. Habit without thought is slavery. I once asked a retired man a simple question: do you want to die rich or live better? He froze, not because the question was difficult, but because he had never questioned the habit. He was obeying it. Let me be clear. This is not an argument for reckless spending. Age is not an excuse for stupidity. But there is a profound difference between spending wisely and hoarding money out of fear. The happiest later years belong to people who understand one simple principle: use money to reduce friction. Reduce friction in your health. Reduce friction in your comfort. Reduce friction in your daily life. At 65, your goal should be to eliminate stress, not create new forms of it through financial paranoia. If you spent decades climbing a mountain, why would you sit at the top guarding a bag of rocks instead of enjoying the view? Money has diminishing value as time passes. Time does not. Life has an expiration date. The tragedy isn't that people die, it's that many stop living long before they do. Blind, fearful saving after 65 isn't wisdom, it's inertia. And inertia destroys more lives than bad decisions ever could. If you keep saving without purpose, you're preparing for a future that may never belong to you, while sacrificing the present that still does. If you don't use your money, someone else eventually will, and they won't follow your rules. People often confuse thrift with virtue, but thrift at the wrong stage of life becomes a liability. Saving time when money is abundant and time is scarce is a catastrophic misallocation of resources. Here's the arithmetic no one likes to face. The younger you are, the more valuable money is. The older you are, the more valuable time is. $1 at 30 compounds for decades. $1 at 70 mostly adds another line to a statement. Health narrows the window even further.
The list of things you can enjoy shrinks with each passing year. Travel gets harder, energy fades, comfort matters more. So what exactly are you saving for? The smart approach is simple. Convert money into comfort before comfort becomes impossible. Spend to reduce pain. Spend to buy ease. Spend to preserve dignity. A comfortable bed is worth more than squeezing interest out of an account. Reliable transportation is worth more than another year of discomfort. A meaningful experience is worth more than dying with a larger balance. Security in old age isn't just financial. It's physical, emotional, medical, and social. You can have plenty of money and still live poorly if you refuse to use it. After 65, thrift stops being wisdom and starts becoming self-sabotage. You are no longer accumulating time, you are spending it. Hoarding money while time disappears is protecting the wrong asset. Retirement is not a prison sentence with better furniture. It's supposed to be liberation. Money at 65 isn't fragile. Time is. The years between 65 and 75 are the most valuable retirement years you will ever have. Those dollars deliver the highest return in life satisfaction. Treating all retirement years the same financially is a serious mistake. So ask yourself the only question that matters. Do you want to be proud of how little you spent or proud of how wisely you lived? Dying rich is easy. Living well takes courage. Save when you are building. Spend wisely when you are living. And after 65, you are living.